Hey everybody, it's Michael from Get Fit Over 40, and I've got an instructional video. Today we're going to talk about using proper technique when lifting weights. Not so much machines like, Smith machines and things like that. It's a little harder to cheat those ones, although it can be done. But we'll go mainly into, and I've put my weights away. I got to get them back again here. All right, so we've got some dumbbells, and this applies a lot to dumbbells. A little bit to barbells, because you can still cheat when you're using barbells. Like, so for instance, if this was a barbell and I had a straight bar or something, I could still swing that baby up, right? I could still do it. You can still do a push press with a barbell or with a straight bar with a barbell, and you can push it straight up, right? And you can engage your legs. Now there is a time and a place for doing compound movements like push press. There is a time and a place to cheat the odd rep, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second here. But what I want to go over is, how do we isolate the muscle without engaging other parts of your body? So there's a few little tricks I'm going to tell you about, but the main thing is just, you want to make sure everything is rigid and stiff. Some people will take that the wrong way, but we're talking your body mainly, and some people are a little more rigid than others. It's going to be easier for them. But what you want to do is just pretend your body is a plank. Don't move it like this, right? And if we're going to be doing a bicep curl, we want that arm to basically just almost like it's strapped to the side of your body, because you want to focus on just the bicep, right? So, right, we're almost pausing at the bottom, so we're not getting any rebound. Sometimes you want to rebound things, but usually when you're doing isolation exercises, you don't want to rebound or get any rebound, like flexing. Like, all you want is basically the muscle to do the work. You don't want to get that stretch reflex out of it, right? So, and sometimes you're going to do one arm at a time, right? Your body's going to move around a little bit, but you're going to try and fight that, right? You can do two arms at a time. Wrist placement, how you hold the weight, whether it's this way, that way, isn't as important as the fact that we want to keep everything isolated. And another way, I could swing my body, right? That's a bad thing. You can also do a crazy, right here, I'm not swinging my body, I'm swinging my arm, right? So that's just as bad. So again, that arm is like strapped to your body when you're doing this. Same with shoulder press, right? So for instance, I could do a push press, and that's going to help me get the weight up. But that's not what I want to do if I'm doing an isolation exercise. So we're just going to strict press that up, wait for a second. We're not going to get any stretch reflex, so we're not going to bounce it out of the hole. We're just going to bring it down and up, right? And up. That's the best way to get a true isolation. Now, sometimes you want to get a little stretch reflex, especially when you're going real heavy and you want to just get those reps out. But for the most part, isolation, smooth, no bouncing, a little bit of rest at the bottom, a little bit of rest at the top is always good. All right, so when is it okay to cheat? Well, if you're doing, say, your last set and you've got 10 reps to do and you're on your 8th rep and you pretty much had everything in you to get that 8th rep, you just know you're not going to get a 9th or 10th. That's the time when you give a little body language and you get that rep done, right? Because you might not have a spotter. It's better to cheat that rep a little bit. And of course, when you're doing compound movements, like if you're doing a legitimate push press. Let's say you've got a barbell and you just pulled up 225 pounds from a clean, you did a clean, and you got it up here on your shoulders, your chest, and you want to get that over your head. A lot of people can't get 225 pounds up over their head just with their shoulders. So then you're going to want to do a push press, right, and get it up and over. So there is a time and a place to use body language, a little bit of other parts, and use compound movements, so to speak, to do them. Here's another example of some bad technique. People that do shrugs, I see them and they're doing this. They're like, oh, I'm going to get those shoulders I'm going to get them really pumped by just bringing my arms up, right? What are you doing, right? You want to keep your arms straight, right? Again, if you wanted to get those last few reps in because you just did, a ton of weight and you're on your last couple reps, I would pop it up a little bit with your legs, right? So instead of doing this, I would pop it up a little bit, just kind of almost like a row, and you get it up there too. And that's the same thing here with a row. So when you're doing rows, right, strict. The last couple, you might want to pop them up. But that's the only time that I would suggest you cheat it. If you don't have a spotter, if you're all alone in the gym, you want to get those last few out. All right, that's pretty much it. I think we covered what I needed to cover here. Hope that's been informative. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is GetFit. Actually, there's a couple different names. Just check me out on Facebook and Twitter. I'll have links on my YouTube channel and on my blog over at getfitover40.com. Also, I'm going to put a video either here or here, and it's about my Get Fit Over 40 online personal training that I just recently launched. So if you want information about that, why I'm a little bit different than the average personal trainer, check that video out. It'll tell you a little bit more about it. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.